Hi friends, it's Tammy in My World in OKC, and I don't know about you guys, but me, I was fairly stocked. I didn't have to buy water, I didn't have to buy toilet paper, I didn't need a lot of the things that the people were going crazy for, but I did need hamburger meat. We usually eat a lot of hamburger meat because it's so versatile. And I can't find any. The stores are all limited to one package, but there's still none. So luckily, I am fortunate enough to have a meat grinder, and I bought this whole brisket. It's about a little over 14 pounds. It was $5 a pound, which is a little high, but I'm hoping for sure that it's really great hamburger. But I'm gonna cut this up and make some meals out of this, and I thought I'd bring you guys along because this is the first time I've done it, and so stay tuned. Okay, I have opened up this brisket and rinsed it off, and this thing is a beast. It is a lot to handle. Oh boy. It has a very good fat content, which I'm hoping to be able to put all that back in my hamburger, because I couldn't find any pork fat, any ground chicken, any ground anything. I did find some bacon that I thought I might mix in with some of the hamburger for brisket bacon burgers. But we'll kind of just see what we get out of this. I did look up a couple of videos on how to butcher this because I had no idea. I've never had trouble buying hamburger ever in my life. And so this is a new experience. So I'm going to cut this into 3 pieces. This big old beast. Here, and here about. And I'll bring you back after I cut that. Okay, I was just going to show you guys. I have, this is just a, what is this, Daily Chef brand. I bought these at Sam's. It was like a 2-pack for $25. This was the best knife. I also had this Rachel Ray that didn't work very good at all on this. So I got my 3 pieces cut. I am going to make probably some stew meat, some stroganoff meat out of these 2, or this and a half of this maybe, and then ground up the rest for hamburger. There's a big vein that runs in the middle of this that I'll need to take out. So maybe I can take this out of this piece and save the fat for the hamburger. So let me see what I can do here. I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side. I will trim the fat off of that when I cut it. This one looks like the vein doesn't go quite all the way through, so I think I will cut this in half. And I know there's probably going to be a million people tell me, I did this wrong, I did this wrong. Well, this is my first time. I am just going kind of what I watched on YouTube to be able to butcher this brisket. So I'm just going for it. There wasn't a whole lot out there. There wasn't any showing hamburger meat. And so just going for it. You got to do what you got to do to feed your family. Okay, that I think I'm good with that. Maybe I'll just trim off this little fat right here. Sorry if I'm in the way, but this knife is really sharp and I don't want to get cut today. So, and all this fat I will put back into the hamburger. But look at that. That is like such a nice piece of meat right there. Fajitas, if I could find vegetables. Oh, yummy, yummy. And this I will use for hamburger. So I'm just going to dice this up in fairly good pieces, like that's probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches there. And I'm just gonna dice this up. And this is cold. This is really cold. I've had it in the fridge, that our outside fridge that doesn't have anything. So this ought to be, it's easier to work with if it's cold. It's not as floppy. So I am just gonna keep dicing this up. Let me just show you about how size, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's probably about 2.5 inches there. But I'm just gonna cut it up just about like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to be able to fit down inside the grinder. So just these pieces like this. So I'll bring you back when I'm done with this. And I was just going to tell you guys, they call this piece the tip, which that's what I'm cutting up for hamburger. Here was the end piece at the very end. And then this was the middle that I've trimmed off, that fat, the vein out. And then here's the other piece. This piece, I'm okay with the vein because it's tiny. It's not thick. Now I will trim off this fat to put into the hamburger. So I'll bring you back. Okay, I have cut up the tip piece and the hamburger. And then in the middle, there was the half a piece of vein and the piece of meat on the top. I went ahead and cut up into fajita meat here, and then here I did little dices for stroganoff or something, a little smaller. And then here is the end piece, the long end piece. This is the fat on the back. I'm gonna try to trim this fat off best I can and finish making, and here's all the hamburger pieces. We eat more hamburger than anything. It's easy in a pinch, and I couldn't find any ground chicken or turkey or anything, so it's what we have. You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. So I'm gonna trim some of this fat off and make some more stew meat, stroganoff meat here, and I think I have plenty of fajita meat, and we should be good. I'm just gonna show you guys, I'm almost finished up. This is just a pile of the fat from the back of the end piece, the nice smooth piece that was here. I got fajita meat here, or taco meat, or whatever I might like here. Here I did some thinner pieces. This is going to be for stroganoff. And then I did some bigger pieces for stew meat. And I made sure and kept a little fat in the stew meat. And this end piece, we don't usually eat a lot of steak, but if you had wanted some steaks out of this, that end piece would be the piece you'd want your steaks out of. So I'm just going to finish chopping this for my stew meat. And you could use this in stew or beans or whatever. And if you don't have a meat grinder, you could do this in a food processor. Just like pulse it so you don't just pulverize the meat. And I'm sure it would work just fine. Okay, so there's that. So probably like 2 packages of stew meat, a package of stroganoff meat, 2 packages of fajita or taco meat, and then who knows about all of this hamburger. So I'm gonna package this up and make some room to ground this hamburger, or this brisket, into hamburger, and I will bring you right back. Okay, I have bagged up in some freezer bags. I have labeled everything, fajita meat, stew meat, and the date. And I'm going to get as much air as possible out and freeze these. Now when I freeze stuff like this, I like to get it kind of flat so I can stack it. So I'm flattening it out quite a bit. Oh, this was my stroganoff meat. I forgot to label that. Let's see, I got my stew meat label. Stew meat label. And if I have to, I do have a vacuum sealer that I can go back and use to seal these. I'm just not sure if I have any bags right now, so that's why I'm just doing freezer. And I don't have any beef. I have sausage, I have some bacon, and that's pretty much it. So this will be the only beef we have right now. So it's not ideal to have to do it this way, but you got to do what you got to do to have meat in the freezer, and the prices are just skyrocketing. And so I figured I'll just bite the bullet, buy this brisket, and do my own thing. So I got 2 packages of stew meat, 2 packages of fajita meat, and then a package of stroganoff meat so far. So that right there is 5 meals so far. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the freezer. But I want to show you guys, this is a huge Tupperware bowl. This is like, I don't even know how many quarts this bowl is. Let me see. This is a 42 cup bowl. So I have a green one and a red one. So this is 42 cup bowl. It is pretty darn full. This is everything I'm going to grind into hamburger. So I'm going to move you guys around just a hair so you guys can see. Might be a little noisy, but I'll just do it for just a second just so you guys can see if it's going to work or not. Okay, I went and got a 12 cup bowl because my big 42 cup bowl won't fit under this. Now I did use the bigger holes for the first round, and if I have to, I will use the smaller one as well. So right now I'm using the big one. And one thing with the big one too, I can get a pack or 2 of chili meat out of this, which will be awesome. So I'm gonna go turn it on. Let's see what we got. Hopefully it's not too loud. Hopefully it all works good. Let me turn it just a hair for you guys. And it is working. Okay, this is gonna be nice. And this ought to be some really good hamburger because it's made out of brisket. And always use your plunger, you guys. I do this a lot with deer and stuff and hog for my husband. He's an avid hunter. And always use your plunger. Okay, I just wanted to turn this off for a second and just show you guys a close-up how it's grinding up real nice with the fat in it. So I probably won't use that extra fat that I cut off, that end piece. I just cut it off. I'll probably throw it away because I think I probably have enough fat by looking at it. So I'll bring you back when it's all done. Some of my pieces are a little big, but they're going. And some of this I think I might mix some bacon with. I saw a good recipe online for brisket bacon burgers, and it looked delicious. And I actually do have a pack of bacon. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys this again. See, there's a good hunk of fat there. Keep on going, guys. And as this gets full, I will dump it in this 42 cup bowl. I just put some in the top here. Y'all don't look at my messy kitchen. I got stuff everywhere. This is not a tidy job at all. I really do value convenience of having everything already done for me, let me tell you. But you know, if you have to, if you're like me and you can't find any beef, this gives you a lot of options I mean, you could do steak. I mean, anything out of your beef, you could do out of this brisket. And it's going to be really good because brisket's not a cheap cut of meat. So I'm just going to keep on grinding this. And you guys can see this is going to make some good patties and some really good stew meat. So I'm just going to keep going here. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't been out of the house a whole lot except for to go hand out food to my seniors. And last night when me and my husband went to the store, I usually do Walmart pickup, but they haven't been having anything available, any time slots or anything like that. So it was like, well, really need to get some meat, some kind of meat, and I needed potatoes. And so when we went last night, I don't know, I'm older and I've never had a time in my life where the grocery store didn't have what I needed. And so it was kind of a really freaky, eerie feeling. And I didn't want to have to go back to the store because I do pass out food to my seniors on Mondays. And I didn't want to take a chance on being sick or getting sick. And plus the fact that I'm high risk because I do get respiratory stuff, sickness and stuff. And so this was just the best option for me to buy this whole brisket and do it this way. I mean, even if they got hamburger in today, tomorrow, next week, whatever, I don't really want to have to get back out if I don't have to. So I've got plenty now with this to where if they are going to shut everything down till, you know, the end of April or whatever, I will just make do with what I have. Because I do not want to get back out if I don't have to. Okay, I have ground all the meat. I have a few hunks of fat here that I didn't do just because it's looking fatty enough, I think. And I like my meat fairly lean. So I am going to call it good. And here is my huge bowl. Sorry, let me clean out this bowl here. Huge bowl of ground brisket. And it looks amazing. I don't even think I'm going to have to use the smaller, like put it back through with the smaller grinder. I think it's going to be perfectly fine. I am going to bag up a couple bags of this for chili meat. I'm going to keep some out. If you guys want to stay tuned, I'll do a separate video for the bacon brisket burgers. And I'm just going to bag this up and I'll bring you back and let's see how many meals we got out of this. Okay guys, I am done doing the hamburger. I packaged it up. I do need to write on it, which I usually do that first, and I guess I was just trying to get it done. I got the fajita meat, the stroganoff meat, the stew meat, and then this hamburger. Some of these are about 2 pounds, and then some of them are about 1.5 pounds. But I ended up getting 9, 10, 11, 12 meals out of that 14-pound brisket. But I did save about a half a pound here because I'm going to add some bacon to this to make the brisket bacon burgers, which that will be the next video for you guys. But I don't think that's too awful bad for what I got. I do think my meat, it probably looks like it's like an 80-20 blend, which is going to be perfect for hamburgers and such. So I'm happy with it. Not too bad. I'll have to try to bring you guys along when we make something and eat it the first time, just to see how it is. It ought to be pretty darn good though. But if you're in a pinch and you can't find what you need, you make do, right? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Bye, friends.